I sucked on the clitoris of her thoughts until she moaned prosperity. I gripped her hips from behind and slowly grind my fully erected sound mind against her childhood trauma until tears of healing started to fall. From behind, I put my hand around her throat in the most passionate way and my lips on the tip of her ear. I whispered, "Strip for me." She replied in a low tone, "I'm already naked." I said, "No, remove your insecurities, remove your childhood pain and your confusion. I want to touch you in places no man has ever touched you. I want you to open your mind to me." She turned around and straddled my divine knowledge. I gripped her by her hair and pulled her head backwards until her neck was slightly arched and she moaned, "I love you." I replied, "No," while thrusting my knowledge into the wetness of her mind. "I need you. I need you. I need you to love you. That's the only true love that will ever matter." She climaxed and climaxed and climaxed and climaxed and climaxed and climaxed again until she stood up a renewed woman. I yelled out, "All praise is due to the Most High." That was heavy. That was heavy. That was heavy. I'll be selling bean pies after this in the lobby.
I was getting ready to say something else, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to offend anyone.
Bean pies are nasty. I will say it. Bean pies are nasty. I remember the first time I had one. First of all, maybe if they're hot, because any sort of hot pastry might, well, not any sort, but bitch,
that is a lie from God.
These things have been sitting in a bucket or a basket or a bag on the ground in the median as you troll up and down the median trying to sell this shit to people. So no, I do not want a cold bean pie. And I don't know what your, I don't know what the process is for none of this. So no.
I'm going to say no on the bean pie because just in general. And people always say to me, "Oh my God, they're so good. They taste like this, that." I'm going to say no. Just like I'm also say no to guacamole. I don't do guacamole like that. I think it's great if people
of course, all of these years I have hated avocados and I still don't care for plain avocados, but now I'm loving guacamole, especially the guacamole from Chipotle. And wouldn't you know it, we are right in the middle of a fucking avocado shortage. Son of a bitch.
I am so sad for you.
It still look nasty.
I am so sad for you. That's all I got.
Hey, everybody. I want to tell you. So that came from. So I belong to this group on Facebook. It's called a group where we all pretend to be hoteps. And so in this group, when people post stuff, you have to respond as a hotep, or we'll post other hotep stuff and make fun of it. And so this dude named Yada is, no offense to short people, but Yada is like this tall. He is barely 5 feet tall, but the amount of shit he talks, you'd think he was 6'7". So he wrote this for, I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend or something, but it was just the most awful poem. And the way he wrote it, it was like, bitch, I ate this up. He wrote it like it was just the best thing ever.
So here's the thing. When I first read it, first of all, hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Kai,
Special, I will add you to that. And thank you, best friend. This is the shirt that I got when we were in Fort Lauderdale, which we're also going to talk about.
Okay. So I actually like the sentiment of the poem.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you delivered it, which is kind of the way I've read it.
Mm-hmm.
It does make it sound very like love and the poetry and all the slinger snaps and the smoke and I'm in my black turtleneck with my black tam.
Obviously, you have never been to a poetry slam,
but I'm just saying this is I feel that whole setting.
And I have heard this poem before, or something like it at a poetry slam, and I'm sitting there like, kill me now. I'm just like,
but the thing is,
you see this sharp corner? I could just pluck my eyeballs out and if I can get this corner in my ear, I could stab my eardrum out.
All that I'm saying is the sentiment behind it was nice. And the idea of it, because you're expecting it to be porn, and it is, but it isn't. And so it's like, okay.
Sir. Sir.
I'm just saying, and you know,
Sir.
we are all entitled to our opinions, and you know, that's just where I'm at with that. I'm sorry, that's just where I'm at. Sorry.
Sir.
You like avocados? I mean,
that was a terrible, not terrible, terrible poem.
all I'm saying is I like the sentiment. I loved the sentiment behind the writing. That's it. That's all.
Epic Onyx,
Nothing
Hotep
else.
in training.
Bitch!
So first, I think we should. We've got
Let's
a
go
bit.
acknowledge
We've got a
the-
bit of splaining to
Yeah,
do.
let's acknowledge.
So see what had happened.
Well,
I'll
it
get
ain't
into
even- yeah, it ain't
I'll
even know
get
what had
into the trip later. But what had happened was I went down to Florida. I dipped it wide. I spread it low. Well, I dipped it low. I spread it wide.
Well, I
and
mean,
twice, and I had a wonderful time. And again, I'll get into the details of that. But then I got on a plane Monday morning and came back. Was busy all day Monday. Tuesday, we so basically,
oh, best friend, and we gonna talk about that. But okay, go ahead.
So basically the plane left at 5:30 in the morning on Monday. So I was basically up from the time I got up Sunday until I went to bed on Monday, because it was like 2 hours to get some sleep.
Right.
And then so that was all day Monday. Go to work on Tuesday. Tuesday night, we went to see that Golden Girls show, which is it's
The
a Golden
puppet-
Girls puppet show.
Okay.
It was
The idea seemed nice.
the tickets weren't super expensive. I think they were like $40 a piece. So something
Okay.
to do for on a Tuesday night. And I had never been to Strathmore Concert Hall, so that was cute too. So that was nice. And then so Wednesday, I got up at the crack of dawn because I needed to go to Philadelphia to do a walkthrough. So I got 12,000 steps in Philadelphia because we walked from 30th Street Station up to the building on Market Street and walked around the 8th, 11th, and 14th floor because we're walking the floors. And some of these floors we walked twice. And then we walked back to 30th Street. And then I walked all 8 floors. Well, not all, but most of the 8 floors in both towers of the 30th Street train station. So when we got back home, I finally got, and of course, I couldn't sleep on the train. And this was why, because my boss was with me. And she was like, oh, well, I'll be sitting, because initially I would have just been sitting by myself. And when I wasn't on camera for a minute, I would have been asleep. But since I was sitting with her in the club car, I had to work. There's a club car. There's a club car.
Tell me,
there's a club car.
There's a club
There's a club car, but all of the food was out.
Oh. What the fuck is the point? No.
Right. So we're working. And especially on the way back, bitch, I was like,
trying to keep your eyes wide the fuck awake.
But she was falling asleep too. So once I saw that she was falling asleep, we're cool. So it wouldn't, if I'd have been like, I'm
get ready
going
to
take a nap.
Yeah.
Plus the seats they're cafe seats, so they're not conducive. They're not like the regular train seats,
right?
So it wasn't conducive. So by the time I get home, and then I was like, oh, we got the show tonight. And then like around 7:15, I was like, bitch, this isn't happening. This is not happening. And I called him up and was like, so I'm not really feeling it today. And he was like, so what you trying to do? You trying to cancel, or you trying to just do it remotely? I was like, bitch, cancel.
Let me explain to you
now.
So let me explain to you for me why I was still pissed off about that. Mm-hmm. So the day before, which was
not about the show, but
not about
the
show being canceled, but I'm talking about just in general. Mm-hmm. So by the time I had gotten home, I'm sorry, while I was at work, while Dominion was on the train going back and forth and walking around, I was having an issue with a coworker.
The same one,
baby. So it started off with my coworker telling me that she didn't want to do something that was for the good of the office. Mm-hmm. And as I am
hold
not,
on, let me give you the right body language. So put my and then
so while she is not someone that reports to me, like I'm not her supervisor,
right?
I'm the senior most person in the office by title.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I don't sign your paycheck, I don't sign your timesheet, you don't report to me, but that's my title.
She's a little dusty. Somebody need to clean in here.
Well, you better call Priscilla or whoever.
Somebody.
But anyway, so This is not the first conversation we've had. We've had a prior conversation about her asking it for me to take her off of the schedule, which is what the office shares in the duties that we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So picture it. Y'all know I drive an hour to get to work to go to Baltimore.
Right.
It's 5:00. I am closing my laptop down at the front desk.
This is Wednesday.
Okay. At 5:00.
Mm-hmm.
I took my little portable laptop, I put it underneath my shoulder, and I'm walking out, and she walks in and she says, "Hey, did you see my email?" I said, "Yes, I did. I responded." She said, "Oh, so are you going to take me off of the schedule?" I said,
"No.
Have a good night, Dr. Kim. I'm going home." I goes to walk around her and she says, "Are you just ignoring me?" How can I help you? You wanted my attention. What can I do for you? So then we start this dialogue that is, I asked you to take me off the schedule before because it's unfair and you didn't take me off the schedule. And I was like, I am trying to share the wealth and distribute this so that it's very equitable amongst the staff and the stuff that we need to do. This is where I'm at. You need to figure out who's in the office, who's not in the office, who's able to do this virtually, who's able to do this in person, who can do what. And I'm also still new along with one other new person.
I'm listening to you.
So we need to share this wealth. So, but you are concerned about one person that I moved from a desk to try to make her time throughout the other 3 stations in the rotation that we're supposed to actually cover.
Right.
So again, your response to me is, but you took this person off the schedule. Why can't you take me off the schedule? I'm asking, baby, you have one of the most consistent schedules ever. I have literally put you in a space where it is 11 to 1, Monday through Friday. This is what you do. And 3 to 5, this is what you do. So you have the whole entire day to do anything else you need to do.
Right.
You talk about all the work you have to do. Baby, you are the most consistent. Not Monday, you're here from this time to this time. And then Tuesday, you're here from this time to this time. You know what your schedule is. You can plan your day.
She don't want to do this at all.
And that's the other part of it. So we're going back and forth. And she says something and she goes to cut me off. And so when she cuts me off, I was like, no, what I'm saying to you is, and she said, "Could you please lower your voice, please?"
But wait a minute, bitch, you're the main one who was like, "Are you ignoring me?" And so she got loud.
Right.
So she does that thing where,
yeah, like you're trying to be passive aggressive, but then you're trying to play the victim at the same time, but then you're trying to get mad because you're not getting what you want, which is ultimately what the problem is.
Right.
So I was like, okay, no problem. Let me reframe. And I said, as a matter of fact, her nickname is on the schedule, and I was calling her by her nickname because that's what the people in the office is called. I said, you know what? Let me stop right here. Let me first apologize and let me not call you out of your name because your name is Dr. Kim. I will refer to you as Dr. Kim. Let's start with that.
Right.
So I don't want to have it to be an issue. But secondly, what I'm telling you is, if you can come up with a viable option of what to do and who to replace you because you don't want to be on the schedule for this day and this day and this time, I will gladly take a look at it. But other than that, if you can come up with a viable option, I will change the schedule. Good day, ma'am. And I rolled out. I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off. And as
I said good day.
And as I got home, something kept telling me to check my email. And bitch, once I leave the office, I don't check my email. Right. Well, bitch, I checked my email, and that's when I saw
that shouldn't have happened.
That's when I saw her response, which was a list of times to change the schedule, which I was like, all right, fine. But then there was a second email that said, personal note. I understand that it's frustrating with this schedule, and I may have added to your frustration, but I'm a bit concerned that you were yelling at me in the office space in front of students and other.
Girl, wait a minute. You're the one that started this conversation, not me.
Hold on. And in front of students and other coworkers. I'm also concerned because I am a woman. I have never had this happen to me in my professional career, and I am in shock.
So now it's
I was like,
big angry Negro.
That's exactly what it is with this woman. And I'm going to say this because this is our show, and I do mean this in the most objective way as possible. But I was the big angry Negro to this small Asian woman.
And
so
we all know,
immediately,
we all know that when necessary, anti-blackness trumps. This is why I don't use people of color, because those people of color will turn on black people as soon as it's convenient.
Because we are the low man on the totem pole.
Right.
And so immediately when I read this email, I was like, And then something stopped me and it said, don't do it. I called my boss. I explained to my boss what was going on. And my boss said to me, he said, all right, send me the email. And he said, but no offense. He said, listen, she said that because she's a female, she was like, no offense, but does she even know if you identify as a male or female? He's like, I'm not trying to be funny, but like,
is that
does
what
she?
you're giving in the office?
But that's what his whole point. So I was like, I said, well, all right, you got a point. I was like, all right, fine. But he said, listen, I don't think anything's going to happen to this. And I'm sorry, I need to also put in here that his last day was Monday.
Whose last day?
My boss. His last day was Monday.
The one that hired you?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, so
his last day was Monday.
So
all this was happening.
Does that mean you get a promotion?
We're gonna come back to that. All this is happening while I know that your last day is Monday and it's coming. So you are pulling yourself out of every group. You are pulling yourself, like he is disconnecting.
Right. He's like, girl,
he's
like, girl, say whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a damn. I don't even work here no more.
So here's my thing. My thing is I'm a new employee. I am on probation for 6 months. I'm not trying to have an issue. So I got pissed off. But he did say to me, I will pass this on to HR and I'll see what they say because I don't think anything is going to come of it. She didn't say she filed anything. So that's it. I was like, cool, whatever. But it wasn't sitting right with me.
Yeah.
So I was pissed off all that night. Well, the next morning, my ass got up and I was like, can I speak to someone about a very uncomfortable conversation? Who can I talk to, please?
Right.
And so I got the director of HR on the phone and I explained to him what happened. But funny enough, when his picture came up on Teams, I was like, how you doing?
She was one of the girls?
I'm gonna make the assumption that she was one of the girls.
Oh, okay.
My spidey sense was tingling.
All right.
But I was like, how you doing?
Did she have on a bow tie?
She did not have on a bow tie, but she was slicked and parted and greased and shiny with her suit that was ever so pressed. And I was like, okay, girl, you look cute. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it to you. But she was pulled together. So I explained to him what happened. He basically said the same thing that my boss said. He's like, listen, nothing was filed by her. This is nothing that came through on any email that I saw. At most, what may happen is I may have to have a conversation with you and her about working together. He said, but if you want to send this information over to me, as far as what the schedule is, as far as what happened, as far as the email that was actually sent, I was like, send. Because I had already written all that shit up because I was so mad.
Right.
I sent that shit off to her and I was like, all right, good. I'm done. Like and I felt a lot better. Well, the funny thing is that Thursday, she didn't come in, shocker. And that Friday, she didn't come in, shocker. But I'm already good because I have no fucking reason to speak to you ever again in life. None whatsoever. Like, there's no good morning from me. There's nothing I need to say to you because I have never gone down that road with someone as far as an HR issue is concerned. And I just don't, we're not going to do that. So that phone call from you at that particular point in time, bitch, I was okay with canceling because I was already fucking pissed off.
Yes.
I was like, okay.
So what happened today?
So today,
so week later.
Yeah. So this is today after the weekend. Phone calls come in and they say they want to talk to an international person. I don't even announce anything. Forward over. We don't fucking speak. We don't speak at all. Like I just refuse to speak. As I was walking out the door because I was doing a project for one of the rooms that we were in. We work with. There was some federal regulations that we were trying not to violate, FERPA laws with applicants and stuff, just open applications and shit. So we're trying to take care of that. Clean that room up. And she was like, as I'm going out the door, she's like, "Oh my God, this is a good job, great job." And I was like,
she said that to you, girl, fuck you,
great job. And I was like, I really wanted to be like, but I said,
hey, see, started here. Then slowly, yeah, there you go.
But I was like, great job. But yeah, so now the fact that my boss is gone, no, there's no promotion. But here's the problem. The problem is now the president and the vice president are looking at me and asking me questions, and I'm like,
well, so I'd be like, girl, I'd have been like, I am.
We already had a meeting.
Answer your questions.
We did,
but am I being promoted?
That's not going to happen because they're still looking for these two people in between, which would be, two people in between where my boss was. So now they have to replace 3 people: my boss's position, the AVP, and the director.
But your boss was director.
My boss was the AVP because there was no director and there was.
Oh, so he's the big boss.
Pretty much.
Oh,
he's he's the regional manager, if you will.
Okay.
So it would have been my director. Then it would have been the associate vice president, vice principal, right? associate vice president, and then the
So I mean, they could at least bump you up to the
vice
director.
president. I don't want that, because I don't want that. I don't want that here with them, because they are micromanaging the shit out of everything, and I need these layers in between us. I need to feel comfortable to do what I can do, and I need these layers in between us. Right now, they have a direct.
Not how I operate, but sure.
So that is correct.
That's not how I operate. That's all I'm saying, is that I hear exactly what you're saying.
But what I don't want is, I don't want to have a direct line to you when I tell you this is my idea and this is how this can go through, and you tell me, because you're not used to being down in the weeds, that this is not going to work. Baby, you hired me for a reason. This is what I know. If it doesn't work, it's because you're not doing what I asked you to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't want that, because I already see that she is a micromanager and not understanding all the intricacies. She didn't understand why I was even at the front desk. And I said,
because somebody got to do it.
This is the admissions office. If this is not working when people come in here, we have complaints. We all need to be able to do this baseline stuff across the board,
right,
before we even get to our programs. And I can't do that because I didn't have that training. I know what it is in theory, and I know what it is from other schools. But here, between these 5 systems that you all have that are antiquated, I got to figure out how to work. So that's why I'm at the front desk. I'm learning.
Gotcha.
But you told me in no uncertain terms that you don't want me at the front desk anymore. Okay, fine.
So now Dr. Kim and all them other people got to fill that in?
Dr. Kim and all of them have to report to Vice President Burrell. There's no need to question me about anything. Don't do that.
So who puts the schedule?
That's not. I've done the last one this week. I'm done.
So who's?
I've done the last one this week. I have done the last one this week. It's VP Burrell's turn or responsibility to do this schedule.
This is VP Burrell aware of that?
VP Burrell is very aware of that. She told me when I sent it out, she said, Mr. Harper, I will go ahead and take care of this.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, there you go.
So yeah, so yes. So last week was not a good week for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say my hellos. I see some people. Best friend, I'm sorry. Hey, how are you? Tyra, what's going on? Listen, I want everybody to give a special welcome to. He comes in and out every now and then. He is my little brother, and maybe he's like my child every now and then, because I was very young when I had him, probably like 9 or 10 or whatever. But so he's in the chat as well.
Such a hussy.
So hey Desmond, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Cortez in there, and then we had a couple other people.
Yeah, all
eccentric. I want to say hello to Louboutin.
And Kai is there too. So
Kai and Spesh,
Kai, yes.
Lady V, hey darling, how are you? So yes, we wanted to get that stuff out the way.
Special shout out to some of the lurkers who I've been talking to on the side. So
yes, they're in the background.
Legionnaire and a few other people
yes,
in the back watching the show. So.
Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We really, really, really appreciate it. So that's kind of some stuff from last week. So,
but I have a similar story yesterday though.
Okay, all right. So let's keep
going.
Picture it.
Amtrak
2022.
It's not my responsibility to do certain things. It's my responsibility to integrate all of the other people who are supposed to be doing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have people whose job it is to order all of the network equipment. And they've been saying for months, or they basically haven't been doing their job for months. And so for the 2 programs that I've managed, I said to my big boss, it's like, these girls just don't respond. They aren't doing what they're doing. And other people say these girls aren't responding and do what they're doing. And so he talks to his peer, who was their boss. And now we have this meeting. It's called a Tiger Team. And a Tiger Team has a defined goal, and you're supposed to have deliverables for all of that. So we get to the first Tiger Team, and I'm wondering why I am in this Tiger Team, because you're supposed to say, here are all the things that you need to do and why. And so my boss says, and Brian's going to manage it. Now, my big boss, meanwhile, my boss is texting me, is messaging me on the side. It's like, how the fuck did we get they're the ones that fuck it up, but now it's our responsibility to manage this process. All right, girl, well, I'm going to manage the hell out of this shit because it's what I do. So we put stuff down. They keep, how some people they don't like deadlines, so I'm like, all right, so for these first 5 projects, you need to talk to AT&T, you need to put all of this paperwork in, you need to have this ready to go and make it all happen. And they're like, yeah, so we'll get on that. So when are you going to have that done? Oh, well, we'll get it done in a couple of weeks. No.
Give me a date.
What date are you going to have it done? And you could hear the pause on the end of the fucking phone, because they're like, this is including the guy that's got the bird that go crazy if he's starting to get stressed. And I heard the bird tweeting a little bit in the background. But I'm like, girl, we're here because y'all have been fucking around for the past 6 months and not paying attention. So I'm like, what's the date that you're going to do this? And so then after the meeting, I send out the notes, because everybody apparently is not grown and can't be held to account without meeting notes. So it's like, are you supposed to get this on Friday? You're going to do this. And then so Thursday. So then Thursday comes and goes and we don't hear nothing. So we get to the meeting today and we're on Tiger Team 4, because each one is supposed to be like a standalone kind of thing. So we're at Tiger Team number 4 yesterday. And they start talking all of this stuff. And it's like, oh, well, we'll need a couple more weeks in order to get this. And I was like, but you told me at the last one of these that you was going to have everything that you needed by last Thursday. Now you're going to tell me it's a couple more weeks for you to get this. Understand that, I don't understand the level of effort, but I'm depending on you to clarify what that level of effort is and to give me a realistic time frame. So now, since you won't do that, let's walk through all of the steps and all of the things that you need. So we're going to document everything that it is that you need. So what are the 10 or whatever things that you need? So, because he didn't want to go through all that, but I was like, no, bitch. And my bosses, I could hear my boss and the big boss on the side. I was like, get him, Jade. And I'm just like, no, girl, we've got to make some progress on this, because otherwise 3 months from now, we'll still be in this same location. Yeah. So here are all of the things that you need. And then, so I was like, so do you have what you need to do this? He's like, yes. Do you have what you need to do this? Yes. Do you have what you need to do this? No. Well, what is it that you need to do this? Well, I need this, 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 and this. All right. You have this, you have access to this, you have this, you have access to this. So you have everything that you need there. So what about these other things? And so you could tell he was like getting pissed off, but I didn't give a shit. So you've got what you need to do this. So now, understanding the level of effort and all of the things and all of the pieces that have to be considered, what is a realistic deadline to do this? Well, we're not sure because we still got to coordinate. All right. Well, what is the deadline for you to tell me what the deadline is going to be? Because you're not going to walk out of this meeting without giving me a deadline for something. So you have until Friday to tell me what the deadline is going to be. So that's fine. And so even if it's takes another 3 weeks, we're not going to wait on that. And I'm not going to keep trying to drag this out. So it was like, and then his boss, who's this other black guy who's doing a terrible job, but I don't want to it's me, my boss who's black, and everybody else is white. Okay. And then on the other side is this black guy, and the people below him and above him are white. The black guy is not doing the best job. And all of the white people on my team are like, he's doing a terrible job, isn't he? And I'm trying not to say anything. I can only manage this part. Yeah, I want to be like, that nigga is doing a terrible job. Terrible.
Sounded like Samuel Jackson's character from fucking Django. I can't think of his name. Oh my God.
That nigga is on a horse.
Well, I can't think of his name.
It's very that. But I don't want to say that because, even as much as he's doing a terrible job, I'm still all about black solidarity. If he get fired, he gonna get fired on his own merit.
Not because
no one's ever want to be like, Brian said you were doing a terrible job. No, unless he watched this show.
Right.
And if he do, he's cute. So I take it all back. If you let me stick my dick in you.
That's kind of interesting because I had the same kind of conversation with one of my coworkers, and he's a young thing, and it's not even my issue, not even my juge. I don't even go for that, but I love my coworker because he's cool as shit. Mm-hmm. But he's like, first of all, he was born in 1980, like in 94. Like,
oh, child, 94. You was 23 years old.
93 or 94. I was like, oh shit.
You was grown.
But he's such a cute person, and he's a nice guy. But we haven't really had the conversation about being. I don't know if we had to have the conversation about being gay, but like we were talking today, and I said something like, yeah, Wednesday I do a podcast. He's like, oh yeah, I make music, and I was like, got
to go.
He's like, so on YouTube, and I was like,
he'd be like, yeah, yeah, ooh, I sucked on the clitoris of her thoughts until she moaned prosperity. And you're sitting there like,
and I think he's cool as hell, but I just don't want to have that. I'm not ready to have this conversation. I don't think that it's not that he doesn't know I'm gay. I don't even give a fuck if he does or he doesn't. But
apparently
I'm just
everybody doesn't even at the office doesn't even know that you're a man.
But
that's not a woman. That's a man, baby.
So I don't know what it is, but I don't know if I'm ready to have that conversation with him yet. Even though he shared with me some other stuff about. I met his girlfriend today and stuff. So, I mean, he's cool. I really like him.
Oh, well, then he's definitely a homosexual.
No, he's well,
that's that DL shit. He's like, yeah,
but
because on one hand they be talking about jerking off and sucking dicks and putting dicks in booty holes, but then he's like, here's my girlfriend. So that's that DL code. So you don't know that, like, because you're an out homosexual. You're an obvious homosexual. So no one.
But with him, I think it's just the 20 something or the that's what I think it is. I don't all
right. You've actually been a homosexual longer than I have, but I came to my homosexuality because I didn't officially come out until I was 26.
That's true. That is true.
But in my 20 some years of homosexuality, 24. Oh, bitch, you're terrible at math. So just because you figured out one problem, don't.
Oh, I absolutely am terrible at math. But bitch, you said you came out at 26.
She's probably at least by most likely DL.
So first of all,
based only on what you said,
right? But from what I know of him, I think he's just a regular roundaway dude. He's from Baltimore. He's born and raised.
So you want to fuck him?
No, I don't. Like, I think he's cool, and I think somebody would find him. I think a lot of people find him attractive, because he gives you very hood. No. I am not. First of all, I don't do anything young, and he's very tiny, like very itty bitty tiny. Like, I think he probably was like a 28, 27. That ain't really my stilo either.
A picture of him?
I don't. But he's like,
you should take a picture of him.
Because you're like,
it to me.
Send it to me. But that's not my stilo. But he's a very nice guy, and I think any woman that he dates would be in love with him for those reasons. He's a nice guy. He's very articulate. He comes across as kind of hood, but then when you actually start talking to him,
you can see his penis through his pants.
I've never looked at his penis. Like, he's not. He's very fit though.
What kind of a homosexual are you?
Because we're not on that page. Like, I don't want to look at.
Thank you, Desmond. He is a woman's. A woman's.
No, he's not. He's
not gay no more.
Listen, I'm not defending this man because first of all, I don't even know this man like that. But all I'm saying is he ain't gay.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
So anyway, to finish this story.
But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So we're finishing up all of this stuff, right? And then finally, I'm starting to get dates, and you could tell that they're very uncomfortable with dates, but wasn't nobody challenging me. And so I push around the edges. So I'm like, can we get dates? And when my boss, because the big boss will step in, not in a nasty way, but he'll step in and be like, no, that's not how we're going to handle it. And when he didn't say anything, I was like full steam ahead. So then I'm like, all right, so we got dates for all this stuff. And then the guy, the Birdman is like, we need page turns to review these documents, which literally it's construction drawing. So it's design documents. So, I mean, there is some value of going through and walking through.
Okay.
However, the two projects that he asked that we started with, we already have a huddle every Tuesday and every Wednesday. So Tuesday for one project and Wednesday for the other. And the huddles have been going on at least since the day that I started on November the 1st. And I have notes that goes back for 6 months for that. So what you're saying without saying it is you're admitting that you haven't been paying attention months because we've had innumerable walkthrough of the documents. Because he's like, yeah, I don't really understand where we are, what's the strategy, what's the going on. So I was like, you're not paying attention in the meetings, but even if you don't come to meetings, because a lot of people don't come to the meetings for one reason or another. It's like 35, 40 people on the meeting minutes, but like 20 people show up. But everybody gets the meeting minutes. So you, who are the key person for your area on this, aren't attending the meetings and aren't reading any of the meeting notes. Then to further highlight that he and the other people on his team aren't paying attention, they're like, yeah. So another dude chimes in. He was like, yeah, we should have regular recurring meetings on these projects. And then that's when I lost. I didn't say anything, but Angelina,
have you been here since November, bitch? What the fuck is going on?
My boss just sends me. So we're messaging on the side in Teams. She just sends me exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And I was like, you want to have a recurring weekly touch point with all of the stakeholders and you so that we can talk about issues on the project?
You just slowly baited his ass in. He was like, I'm gonna just throw this at you. I'm gonna throw it at you in slow motion, like
exactly. He's like, yeah, that would be like really helpful. Only about like 30 minutes or so where we talk about the project issues and assign action items and whatever.
That's him biting on a trap. That is him biting on a trap. It's like, so this is you now.
You mean like the huddle that we have every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for Philadelphia and 1:30 every Wednesday for Baltimore?
He's reeling it in!
The silence was deafening.
And he's probably, listen, his face is probably like,
on the other end, because exactly. Because I'm like, bitch, you haven't been paying attention. And so
listen, his best way I would have been like this. I'm frozen.
Right.
Can I call you back?
It was like it was like Jack and Karen that time. And when Karen was like, Jack, Karen, and they're like, sit really still. And she won't see us. And so I'm just like, so what really pissed me off was here I am busting my ass every week to put together the agenda, make sure the information is out. And again, these people are experts in IT. I am not, but I am a very fast learner and I am making it work and doing a good enough job that we're going to have a conversation tomorrow with the big boss at his invitation, not mine.
Okay.
But you aren't paying attention at all. And so why am I busting my ass to make sure notes from the meeting minutes get out within, in time and doing all of this stuff? If you're not going to pay attention, and then the management structure, because his boss, the big boss, so I got my big boss, they have their big boss. These two people are peers. My big boss comes, their big boss, despite the fact that we literally had a trail of 15 messages, he comes to the meeting and is like, what are we talking about? So that just lets you know it comes from the top down because the boss don't give a shit. So they don't give a shit. And so I'm like, well, girl, why am I busting my ass to put all of this shit together? But then the big boss today was like, you're doing a wonderful job. I really like your approach and the way that you are making things happen. And I was like, well, duh. I didn't say that. But he was like, no. And
duh, bitch.
He was like, so put some time on my schedule this week so we can talk about, some job opportunities. And so, I've already been talking to Marcus about this. I was like, moving to Florida better be on that list because I know what the rules say, but I also know where hoes sit. Like we just hired someone and they try to like pretend like ain't nobody know, or like when he came in, he needed to come pick up his badge and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came to pick up his badge. He was like, yeah, I'm checking into my hotel. And I was like, girl, why are you checking into a hotel to pick up your badge? You live in a DC metro area. He was like, oh, I live in South Carolina. I was like, what? He live in South Carolina. They hired a business analyst. One live in Texas, one live in New Jersey. And I was like, bitch, I know I do my job better than all of these hoes. So when I say in 18 months that I am moving to Florida, provided I'm still here, which I might not be for other reasons. Not because I don't like the job, but because I have set a goal to double my salary.
Okay.
in the next 3 years, and they're not going to pay me twice as much. This is a lesson for not just young people, but for people, period. You will never make more money staying at the same company.
Hello, somebody. That is a proven fact, because even if you get a promotion, in most cases,
It's going to
it
be
is
like a 5 or
percentage.
10%
It's like a
bullshit.
percentage. It's not even a jump up into the next bracket. It's more so like a percentage.
Right.
And it's the most ridiculous asinine thing I've ever heard.
And they be thinking they did something to you to give you a little $5 or $5,000 or $10,000 raise. I was like, no, girl. So it is a very realistic goal for me to double my salary in, the next 4 years. And I know it's not going to happen there, but I still want to plan for this job, if I am still
Right.
here for whatever reason,
Absolutely.
to be like, yes, I am going to stay at this job, but I want you to know, as a part of this conversation, that I plan to move to Florida.
Right.
And we've already proven that this work can be done by people that don't live in
this
DC.
Mm-hmm.
How many times? I've been here 4 months. I have traveled to Baltimore twice, New York once, and Philadelphia once.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's critical. And y'all paying me right or whatever. If I need to come every 6 months or whatever, but I'll just hop on a plane.
Yeah, I'll hop on a plane, or because I'm not gonna do a train from Florida, but we're not doing that. Oh, no,
ma'am,
we're not doing that, because that's like a 4-day ride, or like
it is really not. It's overnight.
I'll try. No, that's uncomfortable. No. It's overnight. That's 12 hours, where it could just take me 2 hours to get on a plane and get from here. No, that's good. 2 hours.
Although, if you do take the train from Florida, you could sit it with the common people, but you would take
no sleeper car.
Yes, there's a sleeper car. Well, bitch, yes, you will be in the sleeper car because you're overnight, and so you're good.
I need my own car, bitch. What the fuck?
Right. So that is that. So, but I do still like the job. I really am quite happy. I am tired of this girl. So what I was saying, who was that? Was it you?
About
leaning into time off?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, because like with other jobs, I've been like, okay, I'm just going to, take this weekend or whatever. But now, from now on, I am building in time off.
Baby, we just talked about this.
At least a monthly basis.
How we living for the weekend.
Yes.
Like, bitch, this is now first of all, for me, the drive doesn't help. While it doesn't hurt, it just does not help whatsoever. It's an hour drive in the morning and an hour drive in the evening. That does not help. And baby, when Friday comes at 5 o'clock and my ass is getting in my car, yeah, like, because I'm living for the weekend.
Thank God it's Friday, and I just got paid. You going cross town?
Which one? What you on? Okay,
gonna pick up my lady. Gonna have a good time. Jason, don't tell him where I might end up. All right, so
anyway, so yeah, living for the weekend is where we
talk to Florida. Talk about Florida.
Oh, okay, come on.
All right. So quickly, I went to Florida.
Yes.
The idea was to sleep a lot. Here was my agenda for Florida: sleep a lot, fuck a lot, go to the museum, botanical gardens, hang out with friends and family, and blah blah blah. Go to Mr. Rubber contest and
fuck a lot.
Fuck a lot. All right. I got no sleep. It was like the TikTok. It was like botanical gardens, club, dinner, another club, sex club, dinner, another club, sex club, contest, plane home. So that's
and the sad part is you love every minute of it.
I had it, but bitch,
when you slow down, you're like, bitch, I just.
So Friday, so I got there on Thursday. Thursday was
bougie girl.
Low key. I just sort of hung out and did whatever. Friday, I made it to the botanical gardens finally. Remember we were supposed to go?
Yeah, but that was Atlanta.
But bitch, it was because it was 99 degrees.
Yeah,
and so I was like, I'm not going to an outdoor tropical garden in the summer. But in February, it was the perfect time. So I went, walked around, had a lovely time, got my steps, came back, hung out with Steve, and went to a dinner party. And he gave me a couple of gummy worms. And so I ate half of the gummy worm that night, which was perfect just to put me under, and I had a fine time. Saturday, I went driving around, did a little shopping, hanging out, went to Was it Friday night? Yeah. So and Friday night, I went to the sex club for the first time.
Oh,
so,
at
Slammers.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a whole. It was fun. Had a wonderful time.
She will forever be
my
known
total
to me as
Lewis.
Yeah, it's Lewis's
My
place.
total body count for the weekend was 13. No, because that seems like a lot for 2 days. I did do 9 in the one day, so maybe not. So
bitch, you did 6 in the 2 hours that we was in.
So maybe not 13, but I'm gonna say it's a strong 10. So anyway, so I went to the sex club Friday night. That was because like when we was at Steve's and them, that was all right because they had these strong ass margaritas. You remember Silver?
So a person or a club?
A woman. She's light skinned with blonde hair.
I think I
She used to be a pearl. She is a pearl. She used to be a pearl here.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Anyway, it was her birthday, and they covered this other woman named Michelle. But they had these strong ass margaritas, and I didn't drink any because I knew I needed to take my pill and then to go to the sex club.
Is this at the same place where you got the cheap margaritas? Is that the same club?
The sex club?
No. The club that you went to beforehand, where we got the $3 Long Island's.
Alibi.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I don't know why.
Well, I didn't actually go to Alibi, so I was exaggerating. So anyway, so went to the sex club, came back, had half a gummy so I could sleep. Next day, Saturday. That was the beach. Saturday we went to the beach, had a lovely time at the beach. It was the perfect weather. The water was cold as shit. I did not get in the water above my cooch. So my balls got wet, and that was about it because the water was cold. The water was cold as shit. So we had a wonderful time there. And by the way, best friend came and
hey, best friend,
our other friend, and a bunch of other people. So Paolo was there and a bunch of other people. So we had a good time.
Paolo and Juby and okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. Steve couldn't make because he had to work that day. Then that night we went to the Miss Florida Rubber contest, and we went back to that taco spot. That cute taco spot.
Yeah, next to the Eagle.
Yes. And so heard at the taco spot, child, she's going to get a yeast infection. And why do we say this? Because our server, he was kind of cute, white guy, had on the tightest shorts and had the biggest bulge in the front and the back. And I was like, girl, please back up from my food with this. Listen, you over my food like this is like,
like, I'm sorry, did you want some more extra mustard on that?
Right.
You want some more salt?
Like, can you take this cup? All right, just slide it over to the side. I'll come back.
Listen, Abby, I'm going to tell you right now, baby, that is I'm not gonna say it's a light weekend, but there have been more than that at times.
Right.
So we're just gonna leave that alone.
Then Saturday night, that was supposed to be my night to get good rest. So, I'd been to the sex club on Friday and got a little bit of rest, went to the beach all day, had dinner, and I went back to the hot dog spot. Oh, which you didn't go to because y'all went shopping that day.
Yeah, I was saying
hot dog heaven. When we go back to Florida, we got to go to the hot dog spot.
But wasn't that in the same row as the taco place or near the Eagle as well? Because I remember
all that's in the same area. Okay. Right. But the hot dog place is actually like 5 blocks from the sex club.
Okay, then that's not what. Okay.
Remember where the Home Depot is? It's just on the other side of the Home Depot.
I don't remember going into the Home Depot.
We never went in the Home Depot. It's just a landmark on.
Yeah, I don't remember it though.
Anyway, so I ate the other 1.5 gummies.
1.5 gummy?
He said they weren't that strong. And in the middle of the night, I awakened. Orange is my favorite color. Is it orange, or is it this? I don't really know if I like this orange on my nails. Do I want a dark orange, or do I want a lighter orange? Or do I want to change the color? Should it be a different color next time, or should it be the same color? And then, do I always talk this much? Do I always have this out of an internal monologue, or is it just because I'm high? Am I high? I don't think I'm high.
Oh, my God.
Maybe I'm a little high. I'm not high. I couldn't be high. This
Clearly.
couldn't be high. I'm not that high.
You
No,
didn't
I'm not that
have-
high. And then 83. You know what? 83 was a good year for me. So 83. You know, but I have like 83 friends, and then so 83. Yeah, so 83. But back to this orange. So is it orange, or is it purple orange, or Well, so what am I going to do tomorrow? Am I going to get up and go to this festival? And what am I going to do? But my internal monologue is so loud this time. What is going on here? So am I high? And then so finally I was like, bitch,
you're
I'm
high. You're high as shit. Wes said 1.5. I'm like, girl, okay.
So I knew that gummy was she was strong.
Ooh.
And then so Sunday we went to this festival.
No, Jesus.
Yeah, Special's a young Tenderoni. You know
God, no. Okay.
Yeah, Special's a young Tenderoni.
All right. I mean, okay. I just
Sunday we went to this festival. It's called Gay Ocho, which stands for Gay 8, because in Little Havana, it's 8th Street is the heart of Little Havana. So they have like a gay festival in Little Havana, and cute Latin boys, gay, tight pants, big dicks, big bulges. So I was like,
what time of year is this again?
Because February. So it's President's Day weekend. So we
excuse me.
We went down and had a nice time. It was me and Headstrong and best friend and our other friend.
Hey, Headstrong.
And we had a cute time. And I got this shirt. Putas love me. And for those that don't know, putas means bitches. So putas mean bitches. So bitches love me. So thank you. And then so
the more you know, shooting.
The more you know. There we go. And so then we sort of had a good time at the festival. Came back home, relaxed a little bit. And I didn't want to say his name, best friend, because we didn't get we haven't signed a release, to say his name on air. But
listen,
apparently, best friend said,
I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm gonna say what I know his ass says. Hey, Daryl Hannah. But okay.
So I knew that my flight left at 5:30 in the morning on Monday morning. I know, girl. But
that was the $94 flight?
It was $60. So
all right.
The flights was $60 each way, which is the only reason that I was, because even I love an early flight.
Girl.
But that was early even for me. Ooh. And I had been trying. I had been like, maybe they're going to have a price drop and I could catch a later flight. Ooh. No, girl, there was. So I was like, girl, just get your ass on this flight. And it was a connection.
Ooh.
But
it was $60. So
it was $60. So
there it is.
There it is. So I was like, well, I'm not going to get a ton of sleep. And so I'm just going to get into that. So I might as well go back to the sex club. So I went back to the sex club, and that's how my body count got to somewhere between 10 and 15. And it was fun. Had a really good time there. And, I made some acquaintances that lasted for...
Is that what we're calling it now?
5 or 7 minutes, yeah.
Oh, okay. We made some acquaintances.
I made some acquaintances.
I mean, you just left a mark. I mean, you just...
I left
you dropped the kids in daycare.
Yes, I did.
So
that's where I came up with the concept of cum vampires.
I have to think about that for a second.
So, maybe I was still a little bit high or left over from the day before. I don't think I was at all. But I was like...
You probably were.
Whatever. So then on the flight home, bitch, it is 5:30 in the morning. Why are these hoes talking like nonstop? I was so glad I had my headphones on.
Baby.
So glad. Baby. And the woman sitting next to me had all kinds of shit. Like, you're supposed to have like one shit to go above and one shit to go under.
Yeah.
This bitch had a computer case, a purse, a garment bag, and a small suitcase. See, and it was a fairly full flight, but luckily on all of those flights, the way coming down was a direct flight, but on the way going back from Fort Lauderdale to St. Louis and St. Louis to DC, there was no one sitting next to me, so I had an empty middle seat the whole trip, so that was good. So and bitch, when we landed in St. Louis, we hit the ground. I was like,
bitch, I'm not gonna make it.
Right.
Like, bitch, we're not gonna make it.
Did we break the
We're not gonna make it. We're not gonna get the place that go off the ground. Somebody help me, Lord Jesus, now.
Exactly. I'm glad I didn't have an edible for that. Although it could have been, that would have
No.
No.
Ooh, yeah.
I needed to have my faculties about me.
Yeah.
All right, so this black girl and his white boyfriend would not shut up during the layover because we're all together, and I have nothing against interracial relationships at all. So it was the fact that he was black and he was white, but he sounded like a valley girl, and he was like, oh my God. And I was like, girl, where are you from? And he said, oh my God, I am hungry AF. I was like, what? I was like, girl, let me just put my headphones on. So, and
but I mean, he's hungry AF. Like, what the fuck?
So, are you sitting? You are sitting down. So
yes, I am sitting down.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made us laugh. They done closed the Christmas Palace.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Like, is it just for temporarily? Like, are they just?
I found that out later. But I did not. It did not say we're coming back. Girl, they closed the fucking Christmas because I rolled by there. I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
Like, what the fuck?
There are two kinds of people. The kind of people who will be like, there's a store that sells Christmas goods all year round. And there's a group of people that's like, that is the dumbest thing I ever heard.
And then there's
another group that's like, that is as
I
it should
am going to the fucking Christmas Palace.
Exactly. I am in that latter group. So every time I'm in Fort Lauderdale, I always go to the Christmas Palace because one never knows what one might see.
Right.
But they were closed. I found out from one of the girls who was eavesdropping at the beach, or maybe we were talking loud. I don't know. Some kids sitting next to us. It was like, there's another one in Doral. So I was like, oh, okay. And apparently that one is only closed temporarily. So I was very excited.
So the one it's like a February to March, like a time off, but they're not.
They used to be open year round.
Okay.
I don't know if they're relocated, but that location is closed. And even if they're reopening, they're not reopening in that space because the letters have been taken off of the front of the building. Like you can just see the outline of all of the letters.
That's kind of sad. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily that person of like in that, like, oh my God, I got to go. But it's very interesting to go because you start to plan and get ideas for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So
the last thing I'll say is that DCA baggage claim is the worst.
Are you just not figuring it out?
No.
Okay.
I'm not, but I still like to point it out every time.
Which is, listen, this is one of the main reasons why I absolutely love flying with a carry-on coming back into DCA.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't fly with a carry-on coming to DCA, I'm gonna be so motherfucking mad.
Bitch.
Because if it's not the fact that they tell you one gate and it comes in another gate, it's the fact that when you get to that fucking gate, your bag is not there. It's probably still sitting on the runway or on the fucking in the cart on the trail, the damn before you left the damn thing, yes. Last place. Mm-hmm. It's just, and then they give you an attitude when you can't find your bag.
Right. So,
like, I
contrast that. I remember when I used to go to Florida, because I was going for work, and the office we had to go to was in Miami, so I always flew into Miami International Airport. Baggage claim was terrible there. It just is, because it's like a huge airport. There's a lot. And now that I know how the inner workings, I'm surprised they don't lose millions of bags because it's got to sneak through all of this underground shit.
Well, I get nervous all the time.
And but the first time I flew out of Fort Lauderdale, and just about every other well, it used to be because they've gotten worse over the years. I remember the first time I flew into Fort Lauderdale, bitch. My luggage was sitting there waiting for us, all of us. Our luggage was waiting on the carousel for us by the time we got off of the plane and got downstairs in Fort Lauderdale. That's because they got that cruise port. The girls has got to keep it moving.
Baby, listen. And I was afraid of that because I just knew, especially when you're flying to make with a connecting flight to make it to the port to get on a cruise. Bitch, that worries me. That
That
absolutely fucking
is
worries
why
me.
I always build in an extra day.
That
Whenever
worries
I have
me.
to take a cruise, I always come in the day before, if at all possible.
Yeah, it
Because
worries the
that
fuck out
happened
of me.
to my coworkers a couple of years ago. She and her sister was so psyched to go on this cruise,
Ooh.
and we talked about it for like weeks ahead of time. And I was like, okay, girl, pack all of this stuff and everything, and be ready. And she was like, I'm ready to go. And then so the week goes by, and then she comes back, and I'm like, oh girl, you look tan. She was like, we didn't go. Cause bitch, they fucked around. And I had told her, like the boat leaves at 4, and she was like, oh, well, our flight lands at 2, so we'll be fine. I was like,
girl, if your flight lands at 2, you should have been listen. You should have been calling an Uber at that particular point to meet you.
This was in 2014, but that says lands at 2.
But
that
doesn't mean if it's on time,
right? That doesn't mean you have all of your shit and are walking out the airport to catch your taxi.
That was probably by like 3:00.
Yeah. So
and then depending on where you are to try to get to the fucking port.
Right. So they missed the ship and did something for the week or whatever. So
baby, and she got no money back.
None.
No money back.
None.
Because they would listen, like we were getting on a cruise that time, and the woman said, she said, well, sir, you have time. This ship doesn't leave until 4:30. But if you have your stuff by 4:30, then you can get on the boat. Until then, you're gonna have to wait right here.
Right.
And we all went up the elevator, and I was like, "Oh my god, poor thing! I hope he gets himself together."
Because that is awkward.
Exactly. Because he didn't have his. I think it was his passport. He didn't have
something. I was just like,
we were all like, "Bitch, what?" He's like, "I didn't get it back," and I was like, "Excuse me."
Because you've seen my 69-point travel list.
Listen,
arranged in 11 categories.
Again,
9 categories. Excuse me.
I am late for many of things, bitch. I am. No, ma'am. When they told me on my first cruise that if you are not back at this dock, we will leave your ass.
The first cruise we was on that boat, there was like we went to the Bahamas, and it was one of those where you get in at 7 a.m. and the boat doesn't leave until like 4 a.m. the next day. So yeah, we dipped it low and spread it wide, but
by 12 o'clock,
by like 12:30, 1 o'clock,
I'm getting on this boat.
Plus, because we went with a friend, and this friend was like, oh, we're going to go to this gay club on the other side of the island. I was like,
will we be back by 12 o'clock?
I was like, I'm just going to calm down. I'm not going to ruin everybody's fun. But the dude that we rode with, I stuck to that brother like glue, because I was like, it's 1 o'clock. And it's not that I'm downplaying the infrastructure of the Bahamas or other islands, but it ain't like just riding from one part of Atlanta to the other. Bitch, it was a road, and it was a paved road and everything, but there were no street lights or nothing. So and we were on the other side of an island,
and chickens and shit to get through and maneuver and all. Then the apple cart would have turned over, and
it's 1 o'clock.
And a fucking banana truck and all that shit.
We need to be getting back, because it took us a strong 45 minutes to get here. That was in the daylight. So we got back on that ship. We was on the ship by 2 o'clock having our late night ice cream or whatever. And bitch, you should have seen the number of people that were running at the last minute to get on the ship. And I was like, thank God y'all are only 90 miles from the United States, because y'all about to get left.
I want to say, I think we were either in Aruba or whether we were I can't remember where we were, but when we got off of the boat, I was able to see the boat, like could still see the dock. Like we were walking around, maybe it was St. Thomas or I can't remember, one of the smaller islands that we were on. But anyway, we were getting away from the boat, I could still see the boat. And I was kind of like, we're getting, like, our time is, we need to get back to this boat. Like we need to, like, and we were on our way back. It's like, I could see the boat, but I was like, bitch, it looks so far.
Right. Because the boat is huge.
The boat is huge, but we had to be back on like 4 or 5 o'clock or whatever. And I was like, all right, listen, I was like, we need to go. I'm not missing this boat. Like, do what the fuck y'all want. I'm going back. And I gotta go. I'm just not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot. Dominique, I think it was Dominique. That's where we went.
Dominica.
Yeah, Dominica. I think that's where we went, and I could see the boat. But I was like, we're not doing this. And it was like every day was like we got there like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock, and we probably had to leave by like 3.
That was a cruise out of Puerto Rico.
I think it was out of Puerto Rico. Yes.
Yeah, and
it was like it was
it's
like
a different country Aruba, every fucking day. That is a tiring ass cruise.
It was my first. I enjoyed. And bitch, wait, can we talk about the cruise? how the fuck I got upgraded to a balcony.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Cheapo. You got a balcony.
I was like, okay,
and I can't believe you went back to an inside cabin after having a balcony.
I went. So
on this cruise,
yeah,
you was upgraded to a balcony.
This cruise.
Wait a minute, how all you bitches get upgraded and I didn't? And it was my fucking idea to go because
well, you already picked the top of the fucking boat.
I know.
I was you one down for the top.
I was at the top of the boat when we was on that old ass ship. Now that we're on the newer ship,
they didn't upgrade you to the top.
No, girl, I'm still in a big suite. But like Robert and them, so Mac and Robert and all of them, they're in a captain's cabin. That is bigger than ours with like a huge balcony. So
it's 9 of them, first of all. So like, what the fuck?
I don't give a fuck.
Well, listen, all I know is I did get upgraded because I listen. I kept hearing you in the back of my mind, and I was like, this motherfucker's getting on my goddamn nerves. Because I will tell y'all, I don't give a fuck about my room. I just need the shit shower and shave my room because I'm be out on the boat. That's what I'm doing.
All right, girl. So you say all of that.
But I every time I've gotten a balcony, I've always gone out there when I first got on the ship and before I left to get off this, like the night before. That's it. I didn't spend any time out on that boat.
I want you to have your rich white woman moment with your oversized straw hat, your large sunglasses, sipping mimosa as the sun is rising, and you're holding one hand on the hat because the wind is blowing in your face, and you've got a sarong that's seductively low.
All of that I have together. Yes. All of that I have together.
So, but yeah, I'm a little annoyed because everybody seems you got to upgrade, they got to upgrade. I mean, it's not that I have a small cabin. I do actually have a suite or whatever, but if everybody else got upgrade, I want to upgrade.
Instead of the Maybach, you got the Rolls Royce. Is that what you're saying? Like, I mean, if Maybach is the top of the line, bitch, you already paid for the Rolls Royce. You think they're gonna bump you up to the Maybach? I mean, what the fuck?
Yes, they bumped you up from a fucking inside cabin to a balcony.
You goddamn bet you they did. And I was like,
because bitches, they was gonna bump you up. They could have bumped you up from an inside cabin,
but I don't
to a porthole.
But they meant, in fact, that's what I had originally. I originally had a room with just a window, a porthole. That's it. That's what I got. But they gave me a balcony, so I was like,
dear Carnival Cruises.
I was like, okay, well, whatever.
I'm happy about it. Since we had such a good time talking about shit, which we missed because of last week, we're going to hit a couple of things real quick. So, all three men who were already found guilty on state charges in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery were found guilty of federal hate crime charges. So, good.
Power to the people.
I just feel like we're just going to touch base on these. So, I posted on Facebook, I said, dear people of the diaspora, no one is coming to save us. We will have to save ourselves. And the latest example of that is Africans in Ukraine. So good. Because
we are
Africans in Ukraine. So, there are a number of pictures showing Black people, most of them African students, trying to evacuate on trains, and they were like,
they are not allowed.
You, not you, nigger, you. And there are a couple of cases where like the police and the train officials actually pushing the people back, and the Ukraine officials apologize, but it's too late now. I mean,
it's done.
Motherfuckers is already stuck.
It's done, and they're stuck
here.
Yeah.
And of course, their countries were caught flat-footed because they just didn't plan to evacuate their citizens. So that's their fault as well. But it's a humanitarian crisis. So this already tells you that, I mean, there is nothing worse than a war. So this is where people are going to be like, oh, well, you don't have a passport. But bitch, we're in the middle of a war.
But can we talk?
I mean, the worst thing you could do is like put me in a hotel and tell me I can't leave. I can understand that you have immigration rules and whatever, but this is an emergency situation. So you would think that the rules would be you evacuate everybody, even if you got to hold them in a warehouse, and then you figure that out later. But you don't literally leave someone behind.
Can we talk about MSNBC is probably, for me, one of my favorite channels to watch anything. Too. And so can we talk about the panel the other night between Chris Matthews, Joy Reid, Rachel Maddow, the thick, light-skinned, bald chick. I cannot think of her name.
I know who you're talking about, but I can
never think of her name. I think, but she like, and the blonde girl with the older white woman with the blonde hair. I can't think of her name. God damn it! But that panel was fucking amazing. to look at it was amazing. And the commentary they were giving about the Ukraine and about what the options were and about President Biden, it was fucking amazing. I'm sitting there like, I'm really an adult now. Like, I'm actually getting life off of watching this diversity here of this staunch Republican that's not a white woman, you know, and
Who
all
was
these
the
different
Republican?
What's her face? The pink well, I'm sorry, not Republican, conservative.
Who?
Simone, the with the bald head.
She's a Republican?
She's very, very conservative.
Really?
Very, very
Are we talking about the same person?
I have to find a picture.
Okay. All right. So other good news. Congratulations to Ketanji Brown Jackson, who was nominated by President Biden as the first Black woman on the Supreme Court,
and she will be only the second Black person on the Supreme Court. We're not.
Yeah, we don't claim.
We're just not. We're just not.
You know, and that brings me to the one of the words of the day, conspiracy.
Could you use it in a sentence? I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Before you use it in a sentence, tell me what a conspiracy is.
A conspiracy is a made-up kerfluffle perpetrated by Negroes of an atypical stripe. So we have to start by defining who was a coon. We will say Clarence Thomas.
A or the coon?
A coon. The coon is up for grabs.
Okay. All right. Okay. We can. Okay.
Clarence Thomas,
Candace
Owens, Kanye,
Herschel Walker's son.
Herschel Walker's son. Herschel Walker's son. I think I tried. I don't give him any grace, but I think there's something wrong with Herschel Walker's son. I think she's a little. Something's wrong with her because like his TikTok videos will be like, BLM is crazy. I can't stand this. What are you people talking about? This is crazy. Can I get a latte? I mean, he's just like very like manic or something. And I'm like, girl, something is wrong with you.
I can't.
So though that's a coon. A conspiracy is Herschel Walker's son, Christian Walker.
I think it's Christian.
Christian Walker saying that BLM is a plot to kill white people. That's a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy. So anyway, Ketanji Brown Jackson, as Bougie Girl says, a whole black woman with a married name of Jackson
by way of the whites.
Yes.
Only other white Jackson we recognize is Alan, the country singer.
Yes. And so she
well, and also we will go ahead and acknowledge Peter Jackson because I'm gonna go ahead and
of course.
Yeah. You know.
Right. And so congratulations to her.
Has suffered with mental illness.
Well, we know Herschel Walker, but we're talking about Herschel Walker's
his son. Yeah, we're talking about his son. His son.
He looked like that creature. What's that cartoon? Ice Age.
Who? Herschel or his son?
Christian Walker. With that big ass forehead and them light colored eyes. I don't know what kind of.
Are you talking about
that has the acorn?
The squirrel.
The squirrel, yeah. Don't he look? Tell me you don't look like that. Keep going. Should I just keep going?
We're just going to dash over that.
Right. So again, congratulations to Ketanji Brown Jackson. And people are saying, the girls are already being like, well, why is being black important? Well, it wasn't an issue when y'all president decided, he made a particular point of saying that he was going to nominate a woman. And so that was fine. And this woman had no experience. She was, every time there has been, call it a diversity hire on the Supreme Court, it has been an express thing of the president at the time. When Sandra Day O'Connor was nominated by Ronald Reagan as the first woman on the Supreme Court, he specifically said, I am going to nominate a woman for the Supreme Court. Was that Bill Clinton that nominated Clarence Thomas?
No.
I guess that was George Bush.
That was
George Bush. So when George Bush said it, he was looking to find a black person specifically to replace Thurgood Marshall. So that's how this process has gone. So why, it's just because she's black. And this woman is highly qualified. And actually
absolutely.
she was just confirmed in a
Yes.
bipartisan way in 2020 or 2021 to the Circuit Court of Appeals for
21, I think it was.
DC.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's, some.
This matter of fact, she may not even need to go through this. Well, she's gonna have to go through the confirmation. But she just literally just finished it, so it's less than a year ago, I think it was.
Right.
So that was 21.
So we want to say congratulations to Niecy Nash and Jessica Betts.
Can we just talk about these motherfucking sexy ass pictures?
Okay, they were serving the children.
The cover picture is one thing, but baby, my favorite picture is the two of them when they're sitting down and when Niecy's leaning in on they sitting face to face. I said, bitch, you better give me all this motherfucking big dick and big titty energy. I was like, come on.
Yes,
I'm here for it.
Because Jessica's definitely giving
you big dick energy, and Niecy's leaning in like, yeah, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
She was giving me soft cunt feminine.
I was here for all of it. So I'm here for it. It's a beautiful, and they're beautiful pictures. Been two beautiful people. So let's just start with that.
So there is a bill in Florida called "Don't Say Gay" that has passed the Florida House. So that's a lot there.
Okay.
So also the Martin cast, the cast of the show Martin, they are having a 30-year reunion coming up
on BET
later this year on BET Plus.
Over the summer, I think it's supposed to be.
It just said later this year in the article that I read. And so apparently whatever issue that Tisha Campbell had with Martin Lawrence appears to have been dashed over, or she realized she needed that money or whatever.
So we're going to talk about, let's see how this is done. Because just like Aunt Viv, how she was filmed separately, then there was the obligatory.
But in this video, they're all buddied up.
Notice how they're sitting. But
that's true. That is true.
So I don't know what the reasons were or are, but I would.
But
just
if you recall, the last season, was it the last season? Yeah, it was the last season.
She was like never even there.
She was on the show, but she was never in a scene with Martin.
Right. That's like she was almost like never there. In my opinion, that's how.
Yeah. So that's that. It's on BET. So, but I feel like I'm gonna give up on this vendetta. First of all, BET is not even BET of what it was years ago.
So let's be clear. BET is a part of the parent company, which is MTV. So let's start with that.
Paramount,
MTV, VH1, let's start with all that. So we have a lot of non-BET people.
Right. So other stories to touch on. So Lisa Ray says she found out her sister DeBrat was having a baby through social media. That just feels like a lot going on there with that family.
But then at the same time, yet and still she shows up she's at the wedding or she's in the bridal party as well.
Right. So it just feels like I don't really care.
Simone Biles got engaged to Jonathan Owens.
Good for her
as well.
Baby.
That
she is so I don't know.
Nah, we just gonna leave that alone. Because I'm wondering what
I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm such a negative Nancy when it comes to marriage. So when people say they get married, but like I personally know Bougie Girl and her husband. So I was fine with that. But like when famous people get married, I'm always like, we'll see how long this lasts.
Well, and we also know with Jason and Lisa Bonet.
Oh yeah, they're getting
back together.
Yeah, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet are getting back together.
Back in, they're trying to work on their
relationship. So for all of y'all that thought y'all had a chance with Jason Momoa, you did not.
Right.
But you never did.
Right.
But it was never going to happen.
It's just
not never.
Never gonna get it, 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 never gonna get it.
Whoa. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was never going to happen for you. And now it's definitely not going to happen because Lisa Bonet looked like she can fight.
Which is true. Which is absolutely bitch. One of my favorite quotes, which makes you make me think about this when I keep hearing Tammy Roman when she says
there is no time
and no place and no day of the month or year if we honestly squared up that you would beat my ass. I was like, come on, Tammy Roman.
I don't fuck with Tammy Roman
but
at
bitch,
all.
That right there, That right there, bitch. Listen, I'm here for
Truer
it.
words have never said.
Because, bitch, if I have explained this to people. Listen, I'm not gonna sit back and say I can do a whole bunch of shit. I'm not saying it, but if I make my mind up that I'm going to fuck you up, and what I mean by fuck you up, I'm going to fucking get you. There is no motherfucker that can stop me from getting you. I will listen, all the different routes in my head, like we seen that meme with the woman with the triangle and trying to figure out the hypotenuse and the square and everything else. Bitch, I ain't even going through all that. I'm going through you to get to who the fuck I need to get to.
Right.
So but I'm here for that. So Tammy, I thank you for that. I thank you for that. In other celebrity news, Beyonce and Zendaya have teamed up to make or in talks to remake the classic 1959 melodrama Imitation of Life. And so we shall see how this is going to go. But for many of you who may not know, Imitation of Life, it was based on the best-selling novel by Fannie Hurst. It revolves around a white woman who takes in an African-American widow and her daughter, Sarah Jane, whose fair skin allows her to pass as white. And it starred Lana Turner, Juanita Moore, and Sandra Dee.
Yes.
So, and Beyonce is reportedly trying to produce the flick. So we'll see how that
Thank
goes.
God. Listen, I love Beyonce. God knows I do. But when this was first announced, I was like, but who the fuck is Beyonce going to play? She is not going to play Juanita Moore's role. I mean, I'm like, okay, because there are two black characters in this movie. There is what was the maid's name?
So you talking about Juanita Moore?
Juanita Moore. What was the character's name?
Oh,
Sarah.
No, Mama. That's all I remember.
Yeah, Mama. Right. And then there was Sarah Jane. And Beyonce is 40. So yeah. Beyonce is too old to play Sarah Jane. So Zendaya as Sarah Jane is perfect casting. Zendaya is that bitch right now.
She is, because Euphoria is everything.
I've not watched it.
I haven't watched it either because I heard it's so heavy, but I really want to watch it. So
yeah, but Zendaya is that girl. This is her fucking moment. I'm so happy for her. And she leads
the reboot of Orange is the New Black, but it ain't really been off the air that long. Like, are we rebooting that already?
Right. Best friend? So, but I'm like, so what would be when they said Beyonce was executive producing? I was, thank God.
And wait, and I'm gonna go ahead.
Now, let me tell you who will be the perfect casting.
But wait a minute, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I appreciate Beyonce's vocals. I appreciate her concerts. I appreciate her music so much. Mm-hmm. Her acting in front of the camera is something that I hope that she's been working on to improve.
Now, she has definitely gotten better because she was not horrible in Cadillac Records.
I'm sorry,
playing Etta James.
I'm stuck on Obsessed.
But he was very young.
I'll show you crazy. Take two. I'll show you crazy. Take three. I'll show you crazy.
And she was pretty good. Well, she was fine in the Effie White story, otherwise known as Dreamgirls, because I feel like she was Dina. I mean, the bitch who got all of the other hoes kicked out of the group. I mean, that is the Beyonce story. So, but yeah, I didn't see a place for her in the remake of Imitation of Life. Now, who I do see playing the mama, Viola Davis. Because, Viola give you that ugly cry like in Fences. Well, I was sitting right beside you, Joe. You think I'm the only one who didn't have dreams?
That is it.
You think you're the only one who didn't have dreams, Joe?
That's it. I'm done. I'm done. Good night. Thank y'all for coming. Good night.
But am I wrong? With that snot dribbling down her nose and shit?
I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I can't. I'm just go on. I can't even. See, listen, this goes into our next word for listen, elocution by Epic, conflama. What Dominion just did was motherfucking conflama. It is a conflated word of two or more of the following: comedy, drama, confusion, and ridiculousness. And right now, Dominion has just exhibited all four of these words in that statement and performance.
You think you're the only person that had dreams, Joe? Well, if you've been standing in the same place, I've been standing right beside you, Joe. You think I didn't want to be with another man? But I poured myself into you, Joe.
We're going to use it in a sentence. Dominion has gave the conflama.
Thank you.
Of the evening. That is
Thank
it.
you.
I can't even. I'm good. I can't. I'm good. I'm closing my book.
Speaking of movies, did we talk last week about the remake of they're doing the movie musical version of Color Purple?
We did. We mentioned.
But Biz, did you see that clip of Taraji hitting that high note?
Taraji, but that's just.
I had never heard her sing before.
So she sang live in
a note.
Yeah, she sang live in the Annie musical. Like she was a musical theater. I didn't watch it either, but she did sing live in that. But she was a musical. I'm not saying musical theater. She participated in the fine arts program at Howard, and a part of that program, I do know they have a vocal piece that
right, like she hit the note.
Yes, she was singing.
She was, yes.
Like you, and I'm not gonna say she was singing, but she definitely hit that note because I didn't hear all the rest of it, but I heard her hit that note. I said, "Come on,
they
girl."
could have done that 100 times so she got it right.
Because when she hit that note that time, she went all the way up in it. I said, "Come on, Taraji."
Right.
Now they better go ahead and tape it real quick because her voice might go down and she might not be able to hit that note no more.
Right. And
I'm just
because we all remember that live version of Rent. Girl. You know, they kept talking about how good Valentina was. And I was like, girl, she sounds terrible.
Valentina was, I'm sorry, we were talking about the singing or talking about the acting? We're talking about the look.
We're talking about
because there's the singing, there's the acting, and there's the
We'll
look.
refer you back to Obsessed.
I don't even know.
525,600 minutes. Take two. 525,600 minutes.
Take three.
525,600 minutes.
And we'll print it.
Yeah.
That's the best we're going to get.
Right.
Matter of fact, they dubbed her like the Liberty Mutual commercial. She's like,
exactly.
525,600 minutes.
It was a lot. So, yeah. So I am looking. I mean, I was already looking for it. I was going to, I fucking love The Color Purple, but I didn't know that Taraji could sing like that.
So I think she definitely can carry a tune, but I don't think she can. Like, I don't think that's her.
I mean,
strong
she
point.
ain't no fucking Patti LaBelle, but
right.
She's good enough. She's more than good enough to be in this movie musical without appearing to be out of place.
And I think
she's playing Suge Avery,
which that type of role for her,
which is really just Cookie Lyons 50 years
singing,
ago.
and that's all. So I'm here for it. So it's like, listen, Taraji, do your shit. Would that
be cute? Taraji P. Henson as Cookie Lyons as Suge Avery. And she's
once again, conflama, a conflated word of two or more of this confusion, ridiculousness, drama, and comedy. Go ahead, I'm here. I'm here for it though.
And she says to Squeak, "Tell me why I shouldn't throw this drink in your bitch ass face."
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Listen, all these original ideas are property of the BGKH show with
exactly patent pending.
So anybody listen, we need our cut.
Don't try it, don't try it, honey.
We need our cut. Listen,
it's on film now.
It's out in the YouTube's verse.
Exactly.
So, but check out this beautiful bean footage, and we'll be right back.
trying to tell you, whatever the woman's name was, in the best way that I can. You think it's all right to be sitting here? I've been sitting in the same place for 20 years. Well, I've been sitting right beside you, Joe.
I'm letting y'all know.
Thank you.
This is
You should submit this to the YouTube Emmys for consideration.
I'm here for that. So listen, I see Ebby on here. Trey, listen, Spiller Boys here. Y'all need to put that clip into the YouTube Emmys. Because listen, that clip right there. Put it right in there.
I didn't get the chance to talk about this. This is capsaicin cream,
otherwise known as old people cream.
Old people cream.
Because I'm here for it though.
So here's the thing. I went to dinner. I had dinner at Jack's house. Jack IML.
Okay.
And we were talking about, because Joffrey is a dom, and we were talking about sadism.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about how I often take some Vicks Vapor Rub and put it on the slave's balls and, round the booty hole and all this other stuff. And he was like, well, if you like that, then you'll love this. This is the professional strength shit that they give you. He was like, but be sure to put it on with gloves. So, in fact, before I touch anything.
Yeah.
So, I had taken the lid off to do something, and then I apparently got some on my hand, which then transferred it to other body parts. So here Travis and I are having a wonderful time, as adults are prone to do, because I put it on his balls, but then we're having a wonderful time as the adults are prone to do. And I was like, why is my dick burning? Why is my dick burning? He was like, oh my God, sir, it's so hot, it's so warm. And then he tells me later, he was like, it was burning me on the inside too. So keep this away from your penis is all I'm going to say. So you're welcome. That is a Dominion tip.
I was great through the Viola Davis. Why is your penis in my phone? Why is my husband's penis in your phone?
Right.
I can't even get that together.
So it was been a wonderful show as usual. We missed you last week, but bitch, I regret nothing.
Hey Lola.
I regret nothing because I needed that time.
Yeah.
It
was very much needed. Very much
that
needed.
moment in my life.
Very much needed.
So so it was great. I am looking forward to seeing you girls next week. We're going to possibly have some cool adventures coming up this weekend. So we'll talk about that.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you so much. God bless you all. And as we always say, you could have spent your time anywhere, but we really appreciate you guys spending time with us tonight. And so it's Wednesday. We're going to make it a great rest of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we doing left now?
Because then we can both do.
But it's left. We're supposed to be doing right. But I mean,
this
okay, all right, okay.
Got it.
Well, anyway, so we're gonna do this left-handed goodbye. So again, thank you all for coming out. God bless you all, and good night.
Mm-hmm.